This is probably the nicest and the first ever Gigabyte build that I have ever built. Big amount of work, dedications and investment has already went into this build, like from finding good condition parts to finding parts that actually is a good deal to making sure that every part fits our themes. And to be frank, I'll be happy if it's even sell, because the parts in this build are not the latest, but doesn't mean that it is not capable to perform. Alright, so this whole build started all because I managed to grab a very good deal on the i7 9700K, Gigabyte Z390 Aurorus Ultra, and the Aurorus ATC 800 CPU cooler. So I thought to myself, why not just make a whole all Gigabyte Aurorus build? And that's how the build happened. Alright, to start out, like I said before, we have the i7 9700K for the CPU. It has an 8 cores and 8 threads, so no hyper-threading here unfortunately, but it can actually boost up to 4.9 GHz. Now, it's not the latest CPU, and it does have some numbers to its age, but it still offers some excellent performance when it comes to gaming, especially at 1080p, and in my opinion, it's still a beast of a CPU. Now, to make sure that our CPU stay nice and cool while we're gaming, we're going with the Gigabyte Aurorus ATC 800. This CPU cooler is actually rated for 200 watt TDP, so it is way more than enough to cool our 9700K. And with the RGB Aurorus logo at the front and the 2 ARGB fans on the side, this CPU cooler is the perfect match for our build. Now for motherboard, as I mentioned before, we are going with the Gigabyte Z390 Aurorus Ultra. Now this motherboard actually comes with tons of features, such as 3 M.2 Gen 4 slots with brushed metal heatsink to keep your SSD nice and cool while looking slick. Another feature is the Wi-Fi, up to 1.7 gigabits per second, 2x2 Intel Wi-Fi, heaps of USB ports at the back, and dual BIOS switch, just to name a few. For RAM, we'll be going with the 4x8 Gigabyte Aurorus RGB 3333 MHz CO18 DDR4 RAM. In my opinion, this is gotta be one of the nicest looking RAM out there. With brushed aluminium heatsink and RGB LEDs, it can dissipate heat while looking awesome in your build. Moving on to our GPU, and it's no stranger to us, is the Gigabyte Aurorus RTX 2080Super. With this GPU, you can pretty much tackle any AAA title games at high or ultra setting at 1080p, or even some games at 1440p, but with some graphic settings adjustment. Now for a use card, it is a must for me to stress test the GPU properly and replace any old thermal paste or thermal pads. Okay, for SSD, I'm going with the Gigabyte Aurorus 5000E 500GB M.2 SSD. For power supply, I managed to grab a good deal on the Gigabyte Aurorus AP850 GM. It is an 850 watts fully modular power supply that has a rating of 80 plus gold. So this power supply is way more than enough for our build. Now, I actually have been waiting for like forever for someone to actually sell this specific power supply, and for the longest time no one was actually selling it. And one day I saw 2 of them go on sale at the same time, and one managed to get sold within just the hour. Now I actually have to travel probably a bit more than 2 hours back and forth for this power supply, but you know what, at the end of the day it was actually worth it. So all of those parts will be going into our Gigabyte C301 mid-tower case. This case comes with pre-installed 4 ARGB fans, so it's perfect for our build. Now with all those parts out of the way, let's start building our PC. Okay, hope you guys enjoyed that build video, and apologies for any noises in the background because there's literally a construction right next to me. But yeah, anyway, let's move on to the game testing. Alright, so for game testing, we'll be running all of these games at max settings with DLSS and ray tracing turned off, and we'll be testing in both 1080p and 1440p resolutions. Okay, at 1080p, you guys can see that this is where the build is most comfortable in. We are getting some pretty solid frame rates, even with a new and demanding game like Cyberpunk 2077 Phantom Liberty. Now in 1440p, it's probably where you guys can see the age of the components pretty clearly. It's struggling to even hit 60 FPS at ultra settings for latest games such as Cyberpunk Phantom Liberty. But yeah, I think at 1440p, the sweet spot for this build is either at medium or high settings. So as you guys can see from this result, this PC can easily handle games at 1080p with max settings. However, I was a little surprised at how well it's actually performed at 1440p. Sure, it might not be able to run the latest and greatest AAA title games, but I reckon with some like graphics setting or graphic adjustment, you should be able to get a very playable experience. Now I'm aware that this PC will probably be a hard sell because the main components of this PC are actually a few years old already. But in my opinion, you are still getting a very solid parts that Intel and Nvidia has to offer. And on top of that, you're getting some premium parts that Gigabyte has to offer as well. But hey, look, I actually go into this build knowing that I'll probably will make barely to nothing with this build. But look, it turns out very, very nice. So I guess it's all worth it. The last build actually took me more than a month to sell, and that was with the popular AM4 platform. So yeah, hopefully for this build, finger crossed, I actually get someone who actually appreciate the work that I put in, the quality of the build, the quality of the parts, and yeah, just appreciate the whole PC overall. Okay, so I'll just be listing the PC on Facebook Marketplace tonight, which is the 12th of July, and hopefully we'll get a buyer very soon so I can actually complete the video for you guys. Okay guys, just a quick update. So today is the 12th of August, which is exactly a month since I listed my PC for sale on Facebook Marketplace. And yeah, finally we got ourselves a potential buyer. And if everything goes well today, we might get ourselves a potential sale as well. Customer reached out to me yesterday night wanting to come and check out the PC this morning at 10 o'clock. So yeah, I just woke up a bit earlier just to do all my morning routine. You know, I went for a run, went to the gym, and dropped my daughter off to daycare. And yeah, as you guys can see from the back, I actually got the PCs ready for the customer to come and check it out. But yeah, I'll keep you guys updated to see how the sale goes. And yeah, finger crossed that we actually get this one sold so we can actually move on to the next build. Alright, I'll see you guys in a bit.
A few moments later.
Alright guys, just want to let you guys know that the customer is a no-show. Yeah, what do you expect from Facebook Marketplace, right? But yeah, pretty disappointing that the sale turned out to be a flop. And yeah, I guess it is what it is. Usually I confirm with my buyer just like half an hour before the appointed time. Just want to see if they're actually coming or not. Then I can give out my address, because I don't usually give out my address too early. And I guess that's a good practice for anyone who actually dealing with Facebook Marketplace as well, just so you can keep your information a bit more secure. It's a shame that we actually didn't get it sold. I might just reduce the price a little bit more, but I'm already in the negative for this build. I listed in other platforms as well, such as Gumtree or eBay. The reason why I don't actually listed my PC on those platforms before is because I didn't really get any successful sale out of that. But yeah, it is disappointing, but what can you do, right? Except for move on, learn from your mistake, and try to do better next time. But yeah, I think that's the end of the video. If you guys enjoyed it, please give me a massive thumbs up. It will help my channel and myself out a lot. Subscribe if you want to see more content like this in the future. If you guys have any comments or feedback, please do leave them in the comment sections. I do read them. And last but not least, big shout out and massive thank you to anyone who actually stayed all the way until the end. You guys are awesome. Yeah, stay tuned for the update on the next video. Hopefully I can get to sell this PC. So yeah, do keep an eye out on that update. And yeah, I hope you guys have a wonderful day. Take care, stay safe, and I'll see you guys in the next videos. Laters.